I apologise for the quality of the commentary in my last video. I was having some serious hardware issues, but I seem to have resolved it at the moment. Anyway, this is the moose head that we're looking for. That really gives us little information.
May we speak with the proprietor, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. He's in Scotland shooting grouse. Won't be back for several days, I'm afraid. From what I'm told, he's rarely in at all. What with all his hunting trips and all. He's even been to East Africa.
Ooh.
Perhaps you can tell us where that moose head comes from.
From somewhere in North America, I believe.
No, my boy. He means, do you know where the proprietor had the moose head preserved?
Indeed, Watson. I should have been more precise.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I've heard him boasting about that moose, though. Very proud of it, he is. Says they're very dangerous. Doesn't look dangerous, does it?
Well, no, because it's dead.
It is imperative that I find out where the moose head was stuffed. Can you think of anything that might help me?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I don't have any idea. I don't know anyone else who might know. I'm just helping out here, temporary like.
So he isn't much help? I wonder. Let's see if we can move these boxes and climb on top of them for a better look.
Hold on there. I can't give you the run of the place. The owner would be very angry if he found out I allowed anyone to mess around in his shop.
All we want to do is move those boxes and then we can move them back afterwards. He would never know.
It is of vital importance that I be allowed to continue my investigation without hindrance.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know who you are, and I can't just be letting anyone come in and start moving things about.
He's not just anyone. This is Sherlock Holmes.
My dear boy, I assure you I will harm nothing. Your sense of responsibility does you proud, but your assistance would be most valuable. It may help apprehend a murderer.
Well, I suppose it's all right if you take a look about the place, as long as you're careful.
I'm sure that we will be. As much as I love adventure games, sometimes there are some unnecessary steps. I mean, it should be automatic to move all three. Anyway, we're done. Well, we know who made it. Or at least shot it. But to find out where it actually came from, we need to pick it up. And that is where we're going next.
You've purchased cigars here before, have you not, Watson?
Indeed, Holmes. They were allegedly rolled by the hands of Cuban maidens. But who can say? Very expensive they were.
That is certainly the head we heard of at the Moongate, Watson.
Noble beast, Holmes. It seems a pity that it should have become a wall ornament in a public place. Very dubious taste, I should say.
Okay, let's go. Now, to save some time, I'm going to examine a couple of important objects and steal them. Now, this is very important. This is a serrated knife or possibly a scalpel. And this is very important as well. Now, the reason why I'm collecting these at the moment is because they are a topic of conversation. I mean, logically speaking, not logistically, it's best to wait till after we've actually spoken to this gentleman.
Excuse me, Mr. Blackwood?
Ah, good day, gentlemen. You just missed Mr. Blackwood, I'm afraid. I'm Lars Sorensen, his assistant. Perhaps I can help you.
I'm Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. We're assisting the police in a murder investigation.
Very thrilling work, I'll wager. We don't slaughter our corpses here. These victims are deceased when they arrive.
Very droll, Mr. Sorensen. Perhaps that's what passes for professional humour here.
I was about to say the word droll myself.
What was Mr. Blackwood's interest in Miss Sarah Carraway?
I'm sure I don't know. I've never heard of the woman.
How does Mr. Blackwood spend his evenings?
I have no idea. I'm his employee, not his guardian.
Might we look around the shop?
Help yourselves, but I warn you to exercise great care.
Where is Mr. Blackwood now?
Out, obviously.
What is this knife used for?
Well, it's not for slicing roast beef. Please be careful, it's extremely sharp. I use it for separating skin from the soft tissue beneath it, among other things.
I believe a knife like this was used to kill Miss Carraway. Perhaps this very knife. Your situation is serious, Mr. Sorensen. I'll see you charged as an accessory to murder if you don't assist me. It is urgent that I find Mr. Blackwood.
No need to threaten me, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you what I know. I overheard Blackwood making an appointment to meet someone at the Surrey commercial docks.
That's a huge area. Can't you be more specific?
Sorry, that's all I know. Except that knife there belongs to Blackwood.
Give us a brief description of Blackwood, if you will.
He is of medium build, with grey hair. He wears a top hat and a monocle.
How can we effectively scour the Surrey commercial docks for Blackwood?
Perhaps the redoubtable canine Toby can help.
Indeed, Watson. He just might be able to pick up Mr. Blackwood's scent. Might we look around the shop?
Help yourselves, but I warn you to exercise great care.
Oh, whoops, I already selected that one before.
To whom does this smock belong?
That's Mr. Blackwood's. I take better care of my equipment. He's a very messy fellow.
Okay, we're done here. He was very helpful after some time.
Watson, would you not describe this knife as a serrated scalpel?
I would indeed, Holmes. I've never seen an instrument like it.
Watson, what do you make of the animals here?
Definitely the same workmanship as the moose we saw in the tobacco shop, Holmes. If nothing else, this Blackwood is an artist worthy of his craft.
Okay, let's go and get Toby. I believe he is here. Now Toby does actually appear in, I believe, The Sign of the Four, which is the second serialized novel. Ooh, what's this? Looks like a weird badger. Yeah, I would not like to keep a badger indoors. They're not exactly the most friendly of creatures. Oh, and here's our friend Toby. Yeah, that's pretty much the best description we can get of him.
Have you seen your friend the badger, Watson?
I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm fully prepared to jump on this table the moment I do, Holmes. I make no claim to understand what goes on in that beast's so-called mind.
If that's a reference to one of the books, it goes over my head at the moment.
Greetings, Sherman. I trust I find you well.
Oh, it's you, Sherlock. What a surprise. And you've brought Dr. Watson. How nice. I hope you've paid your respects to the animals. They always like to see old friends.
Regrettably, we are not on a social call. We have need of your treasure's extraordinary skill.
Ah, you've come for Toby then, and not a moment too soon. He's been moping around all morning. I believe he's pining for a feline friend that passed over into the great beyond. A good chase would be just the ticket for lifting his spirits.
I should like to borrow him then. Thank you, old friend.
Of course, Sherlock. And here, you'll need his leash.
Hello again, Sherman.
Hello, Sherlock.
That was very insightful. There's nothing much we can do here apart from this. No, not that.
He's in there, Watson. I'd stake my life on it. I've never known Toby to err. Blackwood most certainly entered the warehouse through this door. Draw your revolver, Watson. Let us seize the malefactor straight away.
I am unarmed, Holmes. You didn't tell me that firearms might be required here. Perhaps under the circumstances we should not be too hasty.
Quite right, Doctor. I nearly lost my head. Caution is in order. Blackwood is unquestionably vicious, and he may be armed. We know he is not alone.
As always, Holmes, you have raised the most pertinent issues. Let us learn more before proceeding.
I suppose we could go home and collect a firearm, but that's not how we solve this. And how would we know it's locked without trying it? Okay, so we don't know what we're dealing with at the moment. And let's see. Okay, so the next step is to clean this window so we know exactly what we're dealing with. Good Toby. Why can't we pat him? He's done well, he's a good boy. Okay. So why couldn't we automatically pick it up? Well, luckily we are next to the river and we have a bucket on a string or a rope. So now we know what's blocking the door. And we know what's going on inside.
There are 2 men in there, Watson. Neither appears to be armed. A frontal assault seems in order. Agreed?
I'm prepared to follow you anywhere, Holmes, but we'd better move quickly now, or we'll lose our surprise.
A plank is jammed against the inside of the door. I think we could force our way in if we had the right tool. Do you see anything we might use?
Shall I sacrifice my shoulder?
Very game of you to offer, Watson. Very audacious, but no, that won't work. There must be something around here we can use.
And there is. We need a tool, and there is a shed just here. Oh. How convenient. As much as that is tempting, we have other matters to attend to.
Watson, a crime is being perpetrated in our very midst. We must apprehend the criminals. I will need your assistance. Stand at the ready.
Lestrade is holding Blackwood at Bow Street on the charge of selling stolen property. While he is interested in how Sarah Calloway's jewellery came into Blackwood's possession, he is not convinced that there are grounds to issue a formal charge of murder yet.
The man is a stupid and lazy cur, Watson. I swear he will drive me to distraction. Does he expect that I should do all his work for him?
Perhaps your criticism of his handling of the Collins bungalow murder still rankles. The assertion that a reasonably intelligent child of 6 could have solved the case in half an hour did not sit well with him.
Perhaps, though it was true. His procedure was so sloppy it almost made me weep. So, Watson, it would seem a face-to-face with Mr. Blackwood is in order. What do you say?
Lead on, Holmes, though I suspect Mr. Blackwood may have lost his tongue. Perhaps you can think of a way to make him talk.
Okay. Let's check out the map and see what we've opened up. So I believe this is where Blackwood is being kept. There are some locations we haven't yet visited. Only 2 at the moment, but anyway, we need to head back to the alley at the moment, as we need to open up another new location.
Scotland Yard has been uncharacteristically efficient, Holmes. It appears that they have already moved the body to the morgue.
And that's where we're going now. Nice picture.
Good day, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson. You'd like to look at the body, I expect. I'll be with you in a moment. Please, look around if you wish.
Okay, well there's going to be a slight moment of gore, so I advise you, even if it's pixelated, and you're not too fond of gore, then I'd say look away for a couple of seconds. I'll let you know when it's over. Okay, it's done. Lovely. We've just looked at her body.
Has Miss Sarah Calloway's body arrived here yet?
Yes, I was just filling out some of the paperwork.
May I see the personal items that Inspector Lestrade sent with the body?
That's not standard procedure, Mr. Holmes, but I suppose there'd be no harm in showing them to you. Wait a moment, won't you? I'll retrieve them from the evidence cabinet in my office.
I believe if you missed the white powder on the body the first time around, you're actually able to collect it from here as well. And this key will become important, but I don't believe we can take it at the moment.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes, but I can't allow you to take anything without proper authorization.
I'm finished with these effects for now, thank you.
Very good, Mr. Holmes. You may view them again whenever you like. I won't send them over to the yard for a day or two.
Have you learned anything more of the circumstances surrounding Miss Cattaway's death?
Not really, Mr. Holmes. I did discover a trace quantity of a curious powdery substance on her coat. It doesn't look like cosmetic powder. My laboratory assistant won't be here till tomorrow, so it hasn't been analyzed. Would you like to see a sample of it?
Indeed I would. Ah yes, this looks to be just like the specimen I removed from the body at the murder scene. My analysis showed it to be some sort of arsenic compound mixed with soap.
That's a peculiar combination. I can tell you that arsenic had nothing to do with the cause of death.
Thank you, Doctor.
Here's Inspector Gregson. He only really appears in a handful of stories, and he is somewhat of a rival of Lestrade. They're both the same rank, and they both work on the same cases, but they never really work together. Holmes actually describes him, well, he declares Gregson the smartest of the Scotland Yarders. So that's quite high praise coming from Holmes.
Oh, it's you, Holmes.
Wait, where's his moustache?
Hello, Inspector.
Yes, Holmes. What can I do for you?
Inspector, could you authorize the release of some of the items from the Sarah Cattaway case?
The Caraway case? Who's investigating that one, Holmes?
Inspector Lestrade was doing some of the preliminary work.
Oh, you mean the new Ripper case? Lestrade always gets the glamour assignments. I get what falls off his plate. I'm here on a simple suicide. 3 witnesses saw this woman leap off London Bridge a week ago. Clearly a suicide. I'm just tying up the loose ends.
Excuse me, Inspector, concerning those Cattaway items?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm afraid I won't be able to help you, Mr. Holmes. Only Lestrade can release that evidence. I left him an hour ago at the yard. You might still find him there. I must warn you, though, that security procedures have tightened up some. Tell them I sent you, and you should have no trouble.
Okay, well, let's give it a try.